In this recording, we'll be showing you the new functionalities that we have in all of the keys around the new tool table. Let's first start with the icons that we have on the left-hand side of our screen. If we take a look at the icons and in the templates that we have over here, right now, every single time I click on one of these icons, my templates of tools changes. So for example, the very first one, we're talking about end mills. The next one, we have our drilling operations such as center drills, spot drills, taps, and other drilling operation tools. In our next icon, we have our special tools such as probes, broaching, saws, and after that, we can continue on. We have all the different types of holders, and we even have a fixture library which will be available later on. In our next set of icons, we have all of our import options, such as importing from a third party. Then we have also importing from a tool component library, importing from a tool assembly library, and also importing from a machine tool setup library, which we will have separate recordings explaining what all of these actually do. Now let's go over to what we have here in the bottom. You'll note right now my window is broken up into three specific areas. If I want to, I can actually reduce the size of the window by dragging it or dragging it back, or I can simply click on the icon to close this side. If I want to expand this all the way to the other side as well, we have the same icon on the flip side, so we can have it seeing the entire tool library when I just want to pick out a specific tool. To put it back, I just re-click on the same buttons, and I've reset also now my windows. Now let's go to the very top over here. On the top, we actually have preview buttons. For example, being able to see the tool on our screen next to my mouse, as you can see over here. The next button gives you an actual picture of how our tool looks. I can zoom in, zoom out, and we've had this also in previous versions as well. And if we go into our machine preview, you can actually see the tool exactly the way it's sitting inside the machine. Now let's go to the icons that we have on our right hand side. You'll note at this moment the icon for the topology is pressed. That's because we are on our end mill, and our default for on the actual tool itself is the topology of the tool. In the topology of the tool, since I'm here already, we have all the necessary information for defining the actual shape of our tool, whether it be diameter, changing it, right-clicking inside it. I can also switch that one to inch if I want to, just that one. I can also switch that one back to millimeters. All the different functionalities we have over here. Now let's go back to the top. In the quick access on the top, we have our tool number. This has been marked previously as a permanent tool. I can also unmark the permanent tool, and my tool number is now also free. We also have the color of our tool that we'll get as a tool path, and other functions that may be needed over here as well. We talked already about the topology. Let's go into the cutting conditions, such as the feeds and spin rates. All of that is defined inside over here. In our next, we have our connections. The connections, in this particular case, can show you, for example, the amount that the tool is actually inside the actual shank itself, just by changing this value over here. Next, we have our properties. Opening up the properties, you can put all different types of information that may help you. For example, you can put a description of the tool over here, and that will be seen later on inside your actual table under description. You can also put in for other information that may be helpful, such as the price of the tool, the weight of the tool, the type of material the tool is, whether it be carbide, cobalt, high-speed steel, premium carbide. You have also the functionality of 100% of the cutting conditions. This is actually very important for iMachining. And also you have here the option of telling it whether the coolant goes through the tool or not. We also have even other options at the bottom where you can keep track of how many tools you have within your actual tool room. So you can keep track if you have any tools left for a later time. Now let me start again from my topology. You'll note at this point I'm standing on my end mill. If I change the actual component that I'm working with, that I want to actually view, for example, I go to my holder, you'll note the topology also changes to that of the holder. In the quick access, we still see exactly what we've seen, also what we had in the end mill. This is available also within the holder. And just like over there, you can change your tool number, make it permanent, colors, all this available just like it was before. Over here, basically what we had before, just showing you, for example, connecting joints. In this particular machine, we only have one connecting joint. And we'll actually have a separate recording that talks about all of these functions that we have over here. In the properties, exactly more or less what we had before. Now, when it comes to the cutting point, we only have 3 icons here, one of which is completely different than what we had before, and that's the offset for the actual tools. And when we're talking about offsets, we're talking about the height offset and the radius offset. This can be changed over here, and we'll also be giving a separate recording telling you about all the different aspects of the cutting point. Next, we'll talk about the icons that we have on the bottom. For example, our first icon over here is export. Then we have the option of save, anything that you've done, but you still want to continue working inside the tool table. We have here save and exit. And then we also have the option of just exiting without saving. Of course, when you click on this, you'll be asked if you want to save what you've done. Next, let's go to what we have up on top. We have here File, View, and Help. File allows you to export your tool table to a new tool table, giving it under a different name, or a certain amount of tools to a specific type of table. We'll get into the whole issue of exporting in different recordings. View shows us, we can swap views, for example. Take a look at what we have over here. Clicking on swap views just swaps the actual view of those particular windows, whichever is more comfortable for you to work in. Which units you want to work in, intrametric. We also have separate settings for the actual tool table over here, and you can also reset your dialog size. I'm just going to swip my views back to what it was before. Now, in addition to that, we also have your help files, and over here we have different types of filters. The filters also will be doing that completely separate recording. Now, just one more point I'd like to show you is that in the tool table, we also have the option of using a right click to get to different menus, such as right clicking on magazine. I can swap my views over here as well. View list, renumber tools, we have that here as well. Delete all group names, that can all be done over here. Right clicking on the actual tool itself, you can see we also have different options over here for permanent tools, send to storage, and all of these different options that you can see by doing a right click on the tool.